Okay, welcome everyone to another video here. We're going to be going into another hero for today's video. I'm going to go ahead and cover Skelter. So, if you guys are just now joining the channel, welcome. We are essentially doing hero previews, covering these heroes from now till the game's release. This information is going to be for those who are really interested in the game and trying to figure out sort of how the characters work and things like that. So we're going to cover Skelter, this hero. Our previous video was Apollo, was our first video. If you're interested in that, go ahead and search that one up. But for now, Skelter is who we are covering. So his background is going to be whoever thought it was cool to let a raccoon become a scientist is crazy. Just not as crazy as this raccoon, armed with a glider and a ray gun. So that's his little description there. That's what he looks like, and this is his other skin. So he's got those little different gliders there. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at his background. So, Skelter was born on the planet of Raccoon at the edge of the galaxy. He's a brilliant yet eccentric scientist. On his home planet, Skelter is regarded as the most revolutionary inventor and widely respected. Skelter invented many tools that improved the life of his people. He also dedicated himself to teaching those who sought knowledge and wisdom. When the news of Kronos spread to his planet, Skelter made up his mind to search the secrets of the universe at a much higher dimension. So, he's this little raccoon that's sort of there for the general, I guess, increase in knowledge for everybody, and he's happy to help in that sense. So, pretty cool character design there. So let's go ahead and talk about his skills. So his first skill is Laser Strafe. Energy costs, these are kind of decent, I would say. And the cooldown is 8 seconds, so it's not too low, but it's not too high. Gonna be interesting to see this. Skelter strafes the ground with satellite-mounted lasers. Here, when the strafed area take damage and are rooted, so that's a pretty strong first ability, especially at an 8-second cooldown. It deals damage in an area and roots the targets who are in it, so that's pretty strong. Probably going to see this a lot in lane, as far as whenever he's trying to kind of aggress on the enemy and whatnot. If the support goes in and catches someone out, Laser Strife is there to keep them caught out, which is pretty great. And as we all know, rooted enemies can't use their escape abilities and things like that until after the root is applied. However, they can still fight back, so it's not too broken. It's not the biggest form of crowd control, but it is pretty decent in that sense. And with low energy cost and an alright cooldown, this is going to be a pretty interesting ability to see. His second ability, Holographic Sights, energy cost is 45 and cooldown is 14 seconds. So here we're seeing this is the biggest cooldown I think we've seen aside from ultimates. Aside from the ultimate perspective, but the energy cost is very, very low, so he's probably just going to be spamming this every time it's off cooldown. Increases Skelter's vision range, increases his attack range, and gives his attacks True Strike. So I don't exactly know what True Strike is in the game just yet. It doesn't really specify what True Strike is. But increased vision range and increased attack range sounds pretty massive. I'm not sure if it works with his other abilities, but that would be a very interesting thing to see. Every 14 seconds he kind of gets a bigger side of the area and can shoot further, which is really cool, especially to have it as a ability. So in lane, he seems like he's going to be a pretty big bully, especially with a root and an increased range. I mean, that sounds really, really crazy to have in a lane with just 2 abilities. I mean, you know, we haven't even looked at his other 2 abilities, isn't already. He looks like he has a pretty massive presence in a lane. You're going to see a lot of people who like to play bully lane characters and like characters who just like to duke it out and continue fighting. I think a lot of people are going to be drawn to Skelter here with these 2 abilities. A way around these 2 abilities are basically going to be just knowing the cooldowns of them, not fighting whenever he has the buff on, and trying to dodge his laser strafe. Other than that, the counterplay, I mean, get him a stun while he's in his thing and wait for it to, to go off cooldown. Don't fight him while he's in his buff. That's really the best way to counterplay this, I would assume. And then just know that you have 8 seconds until he has to laser strafe again. So, a little interesting there. Let's go ahead and hit his third ability, which is Mechanical Evolution. It looks like it's another passive, energy cost 0, cooldown 0. It says after killing a unit, Skelter's attack damage and movement speed are increased for several seconds. Okay, wow, that's pretty great. Effect stacks until maximum stacks is reached. Okay, so it's looking like you want to use laser strafe plus holographic sights to get your attack damage and movement speed increase for several seconds. You can kind of just hit a crap ton of minions, kill them all, and just keep going. Hopefully you hit an enemy while in there, and then just smack on holographic sights and strike them from afar while they're just running away. Pretty cool. It says maximum stacks is reached, so I guess there's a certain amount that you can get for this first part of the buff. His attack damage increases permanently after killing a certain amount of creeps and heroes. Awesome. So this character has massive late game scaling, mid to late game scaling. If he is going to be as much of a bully as I think he is, he's definitely going to be very difficult to verse in lane, just because, I mean, he's got a root and increased attack range and vision range, by the way, which means he's definitely harder to gank. And on top of that, he gets movement speed buffs and attack damage buffs for just killing minions. So very much a bully in lane. He tosses in his laser strafe, hopefully roots you and hits minions, hopefully killing some minions to get his first part of Mechanical Evolution buff, so that he can just duke it out and fight with holographic sights on. Really, really cool so far. I think I'm going to be drawn to this character very much because I really like playing characters that have sort of effect where you kill a minion and you get a slight buff, which is really, really cool. And just the permanent increase of damage is very, very nice, especially on an archer hero where they essentially basically auto attack and stuff like that. So very interesting to see. And finally, his ultimate super laser array energy cost is probably the lowest I've seen, and the cooldown is 60 seconds flat. So you're going to probably see a lot of cooldown being built on this guy so he gets more ultimates off, but it's not needed, just because, I mean, it's essentially, it says he fires his super laser array in target direction, damaging enemy units. Laser damage decreases by a certain percent each time the bolt passes through a unit. So it's essentially like a super powerful projectile that you just want to try dodging. It's going to be very hard to dodge whenever you are rooted, but the more enemies it passes through, the better. So you don't want to probably use this straight onto the front line to hit the back line. You probably want to hit it from the side of the team fight, so that way you get the most damage off onto the back line. However, because it does damage many people, you might just want to use it to try and turn a team fight, depending on how much damage this ends up doing, and like how much is decreased by a certain percent, which we're not sure about how much that is, but he's looking like a very, very strong late game type of archer. He's going to kind of show up with increased sights and just have more knowledge than other people are going to have, and kind of just be able to catch people out maybe while completely just bullying in lane with his Mechanical Evolution. The thing about Mechanical Evolution is that it gives you permanent stacks on top of slight increased buffs. So it sounds like he's a really, really big bully, and his late game potential is just unbelievable just because he has a root included in his kit. Ways around him, because he's such a bully in lane, I'm not sure you want to essentially duke him out and try and like fist fight him as much as you can. I think the best way to deal with him is to try and zone him as much as you can, get him low. Don't kill him. Maybe freeze the lane on your side and wait for ganks to come to kind of just finish him off. Keep him away from getting those slight minions here and there, and keep him away from getting kills to essentially just slow him down from hitting that late game potential that he's going to be able to hit. I mean, if we're talking about a scaling like Nasus, around 300 minions, he's basically going to be doing a ton of damage. And that's only assuming, you know, he obviously gets there, but it sounds like he's going to easily get there with holographic sights and laser strafe, which is literally just going to be used to clear wave, essentially, at this point. And he doesn't have to kill them with a specific ability, it's just he just gets the gold from them and continues to scale. So you're probably going to see laser strafe be used on the wave a lot. Try and use that to your advantage. Don't stand in the wave whenever it's off cooldown. Probably wait for him to use it and then go in. Maybe try and fight him after he uses laser strafe, because he won't really have any mobility abilities afterwards. That's really all I can think of to counter him here. Pretty basic late game focused archer with the with the allocated sort of building stacks as time goes on. Pretty strong looking kit, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in Genesis once it comes out. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you can, leave a like. If you are looking for more Genesis content, go ahead and subscribe, and I hope that this video helped you guys out. I'll see you in the next one. See you later, bye!